Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Tactics FCB. In this video, we're going to specifically look at Andreas Christensen's positioning in the pivot position. I was quite surprised when I saw all of that. But as always guys, before we do get into the video, please do subscribe to the channel as that's going to help us a lot. We upload weekly Barcelona content, only FC Barcelona. So let's get right into the video. So like I said, I was quite surprised when I saw Xavi do this, but I can also understand why, because Andreas Christensen is really good on the ball. Especially in the build-up phase, when Barcelona was looking to build up, Christensen was always like mostly the single pivot. Because teams, of course, would look to press Barcelona high, but for the most part, he was really good at finding positions. Because Frankie de Jong, which I don't understand this often, is either dropping into the space over here or dropping here, so to allow Cancelo to go up higher, because we all know that Pedri was starting on the left wing, but he would come in on that position. So Barcelona kind of like had this box, but for the most part, Christensen was alone here. And it's surprising, it was very difficult for Alaves to actually mark him. So many times they could find Christensen in these spaces, in these little pockets, especially when Barcelona looked to play the ball to Kubarsi, for an example, and Barcelona, of course, get pressed. Christensen was always an outlet, and I think Romeo can do this as well, but I don't think he has the calmness on the ball like Christensen had. So this was quite refreshing for Barcelona to see, because for me to see as a fan, because Barcelona has so much trouble building up from the back. But the steadiness that Christensen brought in that game last night was absolutely magnificent, and him being a centre back is even much more mind-blowing to me. As we know by now, as Barcelona slowly gets up the pitch, we saw that Christensen and Frenkie de Jong was actually like we have the normal double pivot. But what I like about Christensen is that he understood very well that he needs to take a position if Frenkie de Jong went up higher, and the other way around as well. And often we don't see, sometimes we do see it from Romeo, but for the most part, he doesn't understand the positioning, because these guys, for an example, these guys have to stay tight. And when these two mark or press up high, coming to the center backs or Frankie, he knows what it is to move up into space to receive the ball, and then he could look to link up with the players. But this staticness that, normally Frankie and Romeo has, we didn't see that with Christensen last night. I'm not really, and I don't want you guys to think I'm blowing his trumpet right now. We're just judging based off of what we saw last night from Andreas Christensen, right? Frenkie de Jong multiple times had to come out, and Christensen had to be the sole pivot. And I think if this guy can really play much more in this position, he can become a world-class pivot, because he's really soft and elegant on the ball. He knows when to pass backwards, he knows when to pass forward, right? If these guys are marked, for example, Pedri and Gundogan, he passes the ball very nicely back, and he's good at linking up. For an example, if Frankie would receive the ball out here and he gets pressed, Christensen is the link that we get up to Pedri and those guys. And this is what we often do not see from Romeo. I don't know if it's a confidence thing, but Christensen is just so much better on the ball in this pivot, which is mind-blowing to me. And also, we all know that Frenkie de Jong is the guy that has the license to move around in, you know. And what I really admired from Christensen in this game in particular was the fact that he was staying so narrow in order to keep these players up high, so that one of the center backs can either move into these position and spaces right there. And if need be, for an example, he would also become a third center back. He would also run into in between the center backs. Let's say, for an example, Rohan Kunde is right there. He would become a third center back. And this is what I actually like about this positioning from Christensen, is the fact that he is an actual center back. So this is really great from Xavi. This is a masterstroke the way he did it, but starting him in that position is it's much better for him personally, and also the fact that he can become a center back. So now we have four center backs, and this is just like I think this is just a reformed version of Manchester City. Manchester City, of course, have the four center backs where the one join the midfield. But in this case, we have a center back that joined the back line. So it's we have to give Xavi credit here. It was an excellent move, in a how can I say now, in an injury crisis type game that we have, or lineups. We have crazy amount of first team players on that list, and this is great. We were supposed to lose this game. But we ended up winning 3-1 because of this tactic. And did you also see, guys, we didn't even look very fragile in how can I say now, on the counter. We looked much more set. Christensen know how to win the ball back, and this allowed Pedri and Gundogan to be up high, and we all saw how Gundogan affected the game. So Andreas, heads up to you, lad, and I hope Xavi uses him a lot more in this pivot position. But I have to say, Barcelona looked more set in this game. I'm so glad for this kid, Vitor Roque, to score his first goal. An unfortunate howler mistake from the referee. But I'm also very glad for Robert Lewandowski. This guy deserved a goal. He deserved more, actually, from Barcelona. I'm going to keep on saying it. He needs more service. He needs everything that he can get. What a great chip. He chipped the goalkeeper, which was excellent for me as a fan to see. And also Ilkay Gundogan. Gundogan is excellent, guys. I'm so shocked that we couldn't use him up higher a lot more. Him and Pedri seems to be the free eights, and yeah, it's only Frankie de Jong that needs to get up to date. But guys, really great coaching from Xavi in this game. Also bringing Vitor Roque on the right time. Impactful substitutions. He was really good. He was on his head, on his game. But as always, guys, please do let me know, what do you think? Subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and what do you guys think about the game.